Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Money, Sex, and God. The first two videos, we were having some issues with audio. So please jump on and let me know if the audio works. I'll intro this in the meantime. Money, Sex, and God, this is a live Q&A every week where I give you some answers to your questions about money, about sex, and about God, about anything that's coming up in your life, any area of your life where you're finding struggle, so that we can release that into ease and joy. Yay, we have sound. Sam, thank you so much. I'm super grateful. Awesome. All right, so let me get Instagram up and running then, because I totally ditched them. Okay, here we go. Okay, I got a new swanky computer. It's like the Mustang of all computers, and it didn't want my audio, apparently. So beautiful. Here we are back on Money, Sex, and God. This is a live Q&A. I have 10 minutes before a client. So I want you to ask me like rapid fire questions that are coming up, concerns that are coming up. Don't be shy. Don't be nervous. This is my time to give back to you, to serve you. It feels really important for me, as every day I wake up in the morning, and the number one thing that I ask myself is, how can I help to shift our society out of a fear-conditioned response to sexuality into one of freedom and full aliveness? So this is a way in which I can do that, in which I can give back. Those of you that were in the self-pleasure challenge last week, you guys kicked ass. Every day we had a different self-pleasure challenge. A lot of you are still finishing it up. It was amazing. We'll be doing another one in a few, probably 6 weeks or so, so stay tuned. We had almost 400 people last week, so if you felt a vibration and a ripple on the planet, that would be why. It was pretty awesome. All right, so I had a question that I want to start with, and then I also want you to know that you can ask questions while I'm answering this question, other questions that pop up, things, areas of struggle in your life, because I want to be able to feed you with some quick tips and tools that you can take home today. This is really just about me serving you. This is not any sort of way to get you to do anything. Like, I am completely uninterested in that, other than let me help you find orgasm. Let me help you find pleasure today, because it will shift the planet, and I'm tired of seeing all the struggling. So I had a question. I posted recently a status that said that orgasm is the answer to all the problems. And then someone's asked about, what about people that get addicted to pleasure? And I love this question. Thank you for this question. The curiosity in this question is beautiful. Thank you for your courage around it. So I wanted to give a few bits of my experience on this. So when we are in our full erotic potential, right, when we are truly tapped into our sexually awakened energy, which is a very discerned energy, it's an energy within us that that is able to move through us rapidly and throughout the entire day. So in a full sexual awakening, it's not just when you are engaging in sexual activities that you feel pleasure, it is throughout the entire day. You are in your flow, right? And in that, things come to you easily. You know, grief and pain and rage and anger can be held by you in your body in a way that is magical and mystical, because there is no longer any running from any of those feelings, because you've had the nervous system expansion that that occurs, right? We don't have to run anymore from anything. And in that, addiction is released. Because what happens is this full sexual aliveness, this full sexual energy releases the need to seek anything outside of yourself to find pleasure, even orgasm, right? So when we are living in a constant state of pleasure, or in a constant state of orgasm, or another way of putting that is in a constant state of presence to the moment, embodied presence to the moment, an awareness of where our sexual energy is living in our body at all times, right? And the ability to kind of hone in on it, then everything outside of us, including more pleasure, is no longer needed. It's null and void, and it cancels out the addictive response of, I gotta go get that thing, right? When we move into a place of, I gotta go get that thing, we're not fully in alignment with our desire and our sexual energy, right? Because sexual energy in itself is full and complete and whole, and there's nothing outside of you that you need, right? So yeah, that's my answer to that one. And discernment becomes higher. So addiction is also not even real here, because once this happens, because our sexual energy becomes so awake and so alive in us that we start to vibrate, right, at a level that it is very easy for us to tell where to go and what's going to be best in alignment with our bodies. I used to live my life a lot of questions and a lot of indecisions, and it would be like in a thinking spiral all the time. And now it's very easy for me to just check in with my fuck yes or hell no in my body and everything. And so I'm no longer making decisions out of a place of lack, right? Which is what addictive behavior looks like. And instead going into all of my decisions from a place of like, what can I bring into this? Because I'm in a place of fullness, how can I now be of service to show other people their fullness and their embodiment? And that's what sex is for me now. It's a, hey, I'll be your mirror, right? I'll show you, I'll remind you, and you remind me. That's what my self-pleasure practice is. Ooh, let me remind myself, right? Yeah, orgasm is embodied awareness of the present. I like that. Thank you, Abby, for quoting me on that. All right, so that was the first question that I had from someone on my wall. You can ask more questions. Otherwise, I have a backlog. I've got like 4 minutes. I'll try to pop on later. You know what? I'll pop on tomorrow. We'll do another one of these tomorrow because we had technical issues. So I'll post about what time I'll come on tomorrow, but I'd love to also feed you more tomorrow. Someone asked me to talk about the shaking that I do in videos. I think this was Samantha that asked me this. So Samantha, this is an answer to your question. So the shaking is funny. It's something that when I was starting my sexual journey, I was like, what are people doing? Why can't they stay still? Like, and I was in judgment of it. I was like, why are these women like hugging each other and like vibrating rapidly? And I was like, come on, that can't be real, right? And then it started happening to me. And the shaking, for me, what's happening, it almost feels like, you know, like the way that the metaphor I like to use is like, do you know like one of those sand, I'm a mom, so you know one of those sand sifters at the beach, like that has the little holes in it, and then you like put rocks and sand in it, and then you shake it, and then all the sand falls out, but the rocks stay inside. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I don't know. I'm sure it has a name, but I don't know what the name is, but it's like a sifter. The shaking for me feels like a sifter, in that what it's doing is it's releasing all of the sand that is not me, all of the pieces of my humanity that I've over-identified with or that I've thought to be me, the not good enoughness, the places of fear, the places that I've conditioned myself into believing are me. It shakes all of that away. And then I'm left with the big rocks, right? The I amness. And those big rocks is the ending of the shaking, right? It's also, someone said on Instagram, it's the process of climax. Yeah, it's the orgasmic energy doing its job, which is clearing out everything that's not you, so that you can get back to you. And by getting back to you, I mean dissolving you, right? And by dissolving you, I mean figuring out that there's actually no you, which is really fun. So it's a process of it. It's also a process of deconditioning the nervous system, that shaking, which is the same concept, right? You're just releasing everything that's not actually you. Okay, those I think are the only 2 questions. Oh, I have a question about the shapeshifter. Unless any of you guys have questions, I see people on Instagram and people on Facebook. There's a bunch of you, so if questions come up, please ask. Otherwise, I will start to play on what a shapeshifter is. I've got about 3 minutes, and then I promise, because I started late, because my sexual energy blew up my computer for a second. I promise to pop back on tomorrow. Okay, we could do same time tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. We'll do a makeup. So if questions come up, you can pop on live. Shapeshifters are amazing. So shapeshifters are one of the 5 erotic blueprints. The erotic blueprints are the nervous system imprinting, different nervous system imprinting that everybody needs, everybody has. That is basically what it's basically talking about. What does the nervous system need in each body in order to fully relax and release into pleasure? And there's 5 of them. There's energetic, sensual, sexual, kinky, and then shapeshifter. A shapeshifter gets turned on by everything in the first 4. So in that, and I'm not going to go into the 4 right now because I don't have time, but if you have questions about that, you can type in and I'll totally expound upon any of them. If any of those words sounded exciting to you, I'll talk more about it tomorrow. But the shapeshifter is a nervous system that is able to get turned on by everything, and then also has the shadow of everything. So it can have the overwhelm of the energetic, it can have the hyper thinking of the sensual, it can have the need for orgasm of the sexual, or for climax of the sexual, and it can have the shame of the kinky. It can also have the shadow of feeling like she's too much because of all the things that she wants. So shapeshifters are complicated. They are, and in the most beautiful way, like complex. It's like my mentor says, it's like playing the Stradivarius of the orchestra, right? Their bodies are fascinating. And a shapeshifter who's fully sexually embodied is like the most fun thing to play, because it's a wild ride and you never know what you're gonna get. Every day is gonna be different. Every day the energy is gonna show up differently. My goal is that every single person that I work with on a one-on-one basis becomes a shapeshifter. Why? Because shapeshifters have such an expanded nervous system that they can find pleasure in everything. So the ability to find pleasure in everything will translate not only in the bedroom, but also in your life, right? Think about that. That every moment can be a gift. Every moment has an advantage. And in sex, everything that's happening, you're not sitting there judging whether or not you like something. Everything is pretty much awesome, right? If the person is conscious and connected. And in that, sex becomes not a thing anymore. It's like through us going into and learning sex, we are then dissolving the need for sex, right? So it becomes more about the actual connection with the other human, which is what every single client that I talk to, they get on a call with me, they think they're going to talk about sex. The reality of it is that what do we truly desire is connection to other being. Why do we desire to connect into other beings? Because it reminds us of ourselves. It brings us back to our divine essence, right? And no matter if it's kinky, crazy sex, no matter if it's like porn-like sex or tantric sex, I don't care what it is, the desire, the root desire there is like, please remind me who I am because I have forgotten. Because society has made me forget myself. And I am starving to remember. And self-pleasure plays a role in this, because if you're a shapeshifter and you can feed yourself all of the desires in your body fully, right? Then what gets to happen is you get to remind yourself daily. So then you get to show up and simply serve the planet. You already know this beingness, and then you get to show out and serve. And it's not just a knowing mental, it's a knowing embodied, right? All right, guys, I have a client, so I'm gonna run. I will be back on tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern because we got started late because I broke the internet with my sexual energy. Yep. All right. I love you guys so much. Thank you for your questions. If you are watching the replay on either Insta or on Facebook, please DM me or comment and ask other questions, and I'll answer them tomorrow. And then you can jump on live tomorrow and we will do this again. All right. Have an amazing, pleasure-filled, super present, super connected, super sexy, and let yourself enjoy every moment of today, because it is fucking awesome to be alive on the planet. And I love you so much. Mwah. Bye, Instagram, and bye, Facebook.